What's up guys, my name is Khan and we're back today with more Scrap Mechanic, and today we are looking at another awesome creation that is inspired by the traditional motorcycle. So a while ago, and I mean a long time ago, I had built these vanilla bikes, and after doing the ball wheel car, I got a lot of suggestions on things to do about the ball wheels, and mainly a lot of people asked for strafe controls, but a few people also asked to make a motorbike. So I decided to combine all your complaints into one awesome vehicle and build the new and improved ball form of transportation, which is this awesome bike here. So of course it does use the ball spawner from the challenge mode parts mod pack there to give us the ability to have these balls, and then it also does use the mod pack. So of course the mod pack logic gives us the ability to do two things, one of which is have awesome, really functional controls. So you can see we've got this WASD control just for driving around and steering, as well as a bunch of buttons there, which we'll go through in a sec, but it does give us those controls. As well, the mod pack gives us these 1x1 wheels, which lets us make the whole ball holding assembly much smaller. Before on the vehicles, on the car especially, with the vanilla 3x1 wheels, you have to have a fairly large assembly just to keep the ball in one position. So with the 1x1 wheels from the mod pack, you can actually make that assembly much smaller, as well as have some additional controls. So of course it can drive forward, back, left, and right. It does use a couple of suspension glitches you can see there on the back, those vertical small pieces of suspension. Those actually keep it tipped upright, just like a motorbike, using these sensors. And then of course, if we turn left, it adjusts the sensors to give us that lean, and if we turn right, it adjusts the sensors to give us the lean in the other direction. So the exact same way the motorbike works, but of course it gives you a really cool effect when you're driving on spheres. And then we've got just W and S to, give throttle to those wheels, which in turn spins these wheels in reverse and the wheels on the front in reverse as well. It is a two-wheel drive system. Both balls spin, I guess. You can't really have a free-floating one, and of course it drifts like crazy, but it does go fairly quick and it can pick up some speed. And then of course both assemblies are completely on suspension, and the front assembly, even though this is 2 blocks wide, still actually has a center pivot point. So just doing some kind of fancy controller logic there to get that to work out. But really cool. I'm really happy with the way this bike turned out. But of course, the one thing that you guys all complained about, which we added into this bike, was all the controls that make sense for completely spherical wheels. And that of course means we can go left. So we can just press 1 and it'll go left. We can press 2 and it'll go right, and it'll actually roll those to the right. We can press 3 and rotate to the left, and we can press 4 and rotate to the right. And these are the controls that any sort of spherical ball vehicle should have. So not only can we drive really quick as a bike, we can also press 1 and strafe. Now you can't do both at the same time, and I tried to make an assembly that did let you do both at the same time, but the problem is if you have wheels in contact in the opposite direction of travel, they don't really slide at all. They just kind of provide friction and slow the whole ball down. So you can see going forward and backwards, the ball actually rests up on these sort of wheel rollers underneath there. So, we're spinning the ball there to move in a direction and get traction, but really it's the rollers spinning in the opposite direction. But when we press any one of the buttons, 1, 2, 3, or 4, you can see those two arms kind of click in really quickly, and they actually push on the ball. So the ball comes off the rollers. The whole cart kind of lifts up a slight little bit. The ball comes off the rollers though that go front and back, and it uses those two side wheels to roll it in one direction or the other. So when we press 1, it rolls both of them in the one direction, so the balls both spin in the other direction. We press 2, it does the opposite. 3 spins the front the one way and the back the other way, and 4 spins it in the opposite direction. And then of course 5 just spawns more of them, which, not a big deal. This vehicle will stabilize itself. And 6 is just a block that we have because the seat is hooked directly into some of that number logic. But it is a super cool ball vehicle. I'm so happy with the way it works, and honestly, it took way longer than I'd like to admit. I mean, this vehicle took so many testing attempts, and it kept running into the spaghetti glitch where the vehicle would just go shooting off into oblivion for no reason. I mean, if we look at it on the connection tool, you'll see kind of why. There's a lot of bearings going on. There's a lot of these smart engines just to make this sort of, whole assembly work. We've actually got 4 of those stepper motors right here in the front to control everything, as well as all the logic. I think there's only one block there that isn't a logic block in the chassis, and so that's why we've got it covered with these signs and these vent pieces from the mod pack, just to kind of keep it sort of concealed. But it is completely logic under the seat, and like there's some metal in the front for weight, but I mean it's just a mess, and it took way too long to make something that was this compact and would work this well. But I'm really happy with it. I'm super excited, and of course it's got some crazy speed. Now, it does slide a lot. It is a ball vehicle, but having the ability to do these sort of, you know, tank pivot controls as well as the strafe controls really, really helps. Now, you can't do them at the same time that you're driving, like I said, but it's not bad. It's still an improvement, and I think it's a really, really cool thing. What we'll do, just to show how awesome this vehicle is we'll take it around this dirt course. It's a pretty simple course. Now, this thing doesn't really go very fast to take jumps. I mean, I think even if we try and line up on this is a very conveniently placed jump. I don't think we can even take this jump though, but it is faster than the ball cars. The stepper motors make a huge difference. I cranked up the stepper motors as fast as I could get them to spin, and I gave them a lot higher power. But the problem with the motors is if you have them spinning too fast or getting too much power, the balls actually just kind of skipped, and it didn't even really work properly. It didn't spin them properly. The wheels themselves were just kind of spinning on top and just kind of free spinning with not actually doing anything. So I had to change that back and get them at the best appropriate speed, and that was a really terrible lineup here. You know, let's just roll here. We'll line up. I feel like this is all the space we need. Really should put some thrusters on this for, you know, additional speed. But you know what? It's the car of the future. Oh, this is not gonna make it. Not even close. I love the fact that there's no noise coming from the stepper engines, but the balls themselves make this weird sort of electric engine noise almost. So it kind of gives you the sense that you're on this futuristic bike. All right. It's really, really good to drive though. It's super smooth. It's super stable. Of course, it's got that self-stabilizing, you know, suspension glitch. So yeah, no, that's great. We'll just rotate this way. It also has a lot of ground clearance. Are we stuck? No, we're good. Look at this, off-roading, no problem. Go this way. Yeah, no, we're high-centered. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, high-centered is not good. The problem with this vehicle is, oh, there we go, we're off. The balls don't make contact with the holder, because I explained it in the last video with the ball vehicle, but the ball holder itself kind of grips it at 4 points, but it's not a perfectly snug connection with the wheels. You can't actually make it perfectly snug, even if you have a piston at a custom length, because it just kind of glitches out and doesn't spin at all. You need to have a little bit of tolerance. Whenever the ball comes off the ground, it actually stops spinning just because the wheels aren't making contact with it anymore. And you'll see over these jumps what'll happen. So that back one and the front one, they both stop spinning, but then of course, we're just kind of sliding this way. That's great, yeah. But anyways, of course, when we come back into contact, it instantly gets traction with the wheels again. And we can make this. It's a great vehicle to drive. It's super, super derpy, but it's a lot of fun. Like I said before, it really does feel like you're driving on ice. I mean, these vehicles, they make for the ultimate drift vehicle. So it's really, really cool stuff. All right, perfect. Amazing. But, you know, jumps aren't really a thing. You can see we'll try and take these jumps, and really, it's just going to kind of roll over them. Get some speed. Yeah, look, amazing. It is kind of funny, though, when you're slowly sliding down into a cliff, and you can't really do much about it because, you know, the ball itself, for some reason, even though you're spinning it, it still doesn't really work. I don't know. Something's weird with the physics. It just feels like it has literally, like, zero friction. I don't know if there's a friction value for blocks. I mean, I actually haven't really tested that. I'm pretty sure rubber definitely has a different effect on surfaces, like the tires themselves. But I'm not sure if blocks sliding across each other have different friction or not, or if they all act the same. That would be an interesting thing to try out. But regardless, the ball definitely feels like it has less friction than every other block. I don't know if that's just because it's a challenge mode parts object. I don't know what the deal is, but it is definitely a cool driving experience. And of course, turning it into a motorbike is absolutely awesome. I think a tricycle would be another cool thing. We're stuck again here. Can we... There we go. All right, we'll just spin this way. Perfect. Amazing. Just like with the ball cars, it is kind of difficult to drive straight. I will say, having the ability to rotate like a tank definitely does help. Okay. Oh, are we doing it? Are we doing it? No, this thing definitely... We need to run at it. All right. Just, you know what, let's just use the strafe mode. We'll just go over here. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? I love the strafe mode. Sometimes you'll notice, too, the front end kind of pulls a little bit to the one direction. It might take a little bit. For some reason, the back wheel sometimes takes a little bit to get spinning. or it doesn't want to spin at all. I don't know what the deal is there. They both are identical setups. They're completely mirrored, the front and the back, so there's nothing really different about them, but still pretty cool that it is possible to make a strafe mode. And here we go. Let's get some running speed. Let's turn. Perfect. Straight. No, turn. Just don't hit that rock. All right, here we go. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it this time. Gonna hit the rock again. All right, so I've decided to crank up the power of the engines. I feel like we needed a little bit more power. It's probably gonna help anyways. And of course, with the mod pack logic, it's pretty easy to do. You just kind of adjust a few numbers. So I feel like this is gonna be a much better power level, hopefully. So I feel like this might actually be able to do it and get up this hill. I'm not exactly sure. These aren't exactly hill climbing vehicles, but I think we can do it this time. You know what? It just wants to slide to that rock. There's just like a natural cliff. You know, you could make a bobsled run out of the terrain editor and actually make a tile, and I'm pretty sure you could run this vehicle down it, even if you didn't have power to these. Like, look, we're spinning the wheels, so the power definitely has enough to keep spinning the wheel, but it can't get up. There's just no friction. It just slides. Come on, you can do it. Oh, come on. Full throttle. It's too much. It actually looks like we're moving and we're just not. It's amazing. This is the best. Oh, I think we finally did it. Finally did it. We just needed to dodge the rock. Okay, now this hill, this is okay. This is why we got these extra adjustment controls. We'll just line up. Perfect. Nope. Oh, look at that. Look at that. All we needed was a run up. Amazing. I definitely want to try and make one that has a flawless transition between the strafing controls and the side to side controls. You can see as soon as we activate any of those controls, it just kills all the speed. So I don't exactly know how to avoid that. I would love to make one that doesn't have that issue, where you can just start rotating one of the balls in a different direction. And, that'll, of course, affect your entire vehicle control. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think of this vehicle? Do you think it's a pretty cool motorbike? I'm pretty happy with it, to be perfectly honest. I think these ball vehicles are the way of the future. And when Scrap Mechanics Survival comes out, if we can spawn balls in the Scrap Mechanics Survival world, I think it would definitely be a lot of fun to have some of these vehicles just for kicks. But let me know, of course, what you guys think. All right, well, we're stuck here. I will put this on the workshop so you guys can download it, check it out for yourselves. It's really, really cool. It only uses, the mod pack and the mod pack challenge parts just for that spawner. And it's definitely a lot of fun to drive around, even though it's not exactly the faster thing. And the good news is, because there's only 2 balls spawning here, it's a lot less laggy to have 2 of these next to each other, even though they've got, a couple suspension glitches. But perfect. Look at that. Absolutely awesome. Of course, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and while you're at it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time. We're stuck in the exact same spot.